Hello everybody, and welcome back to Star Wars Rogue Squadron Rogue Leader 2, where we go to the 8th mission, and this mission is actually kind of annoying because, like, again, stuff they don't really tell you about your ship.
I like how just about every part so far since like level 2 has been, this part is kind of annoying.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not going to say this is like one of the worst parts. I mean, we've gone through the worst of it with that last level, but it's actually pretty horrible. And I actually just accidentally skipped the thing. But
I need to know the plot though.
Yeah, the plot doesn't really matter. But right now you're I think this is Cloud City.
This looks like Bespin, which is the planet that Cloud City is on.
Yeah, so basically the goal here is that it tells you have to defend the...
Oh!
Yeah.
And that was the end of Bespin.
Yeah, so it tells you that you have to defend those, like, platforms with gas, like that thing over there. Now, you're not... you kind of assume that you have to, like, get the TIE fighters off them, but you actually have to, like, kill those balloons with those ships with those guns in them. Now you have to sort of destroy like their hot air parts, and I mean you can try, but the guns will kill you first, and you can't really kill the guns conventionally, so you kind of have to kill the hot air and make them sink. That being said, like trying to shoot it with lasers is kind of a fool's errand, so you might as well just use your sub weapon, which it doesn't really tell you, like that.
What's your sub weapon here?
Those like little torpedoes or
torpedoes.
things, or I don't even know what they are. They do like crap load of damage, and like you can see there, the guns are the things that are highlighted yellow, not the actual balloons. And
right.
Trying to kill the guns, like I said, is a fool's errand. So you have to sort of figure that out.
How far the Rebel Alliance has come from destroying Death Stars to Star Destroyers and now hot air balloons.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you can't have a Death Star every day. I was gonna say you can't have a Death Star every movie, but that was incorrect based on episode 7.
They literally went ahead with the Death Star Mark III. They actually did it.
This is sort of a different thing.
I like that movie, but that is like I can't believe they went Death Star again. I can't believe it.
And you know, the thing that really was disappointing about was the way the Death Star blew up. Like, they just like sort of hounded on this one platform, and like it was cool and all that, but I don't know, it didn't have the same oomph that destroying the previous 2 Death Stars have. And maybe it's because they've already destroyed 2 previous Death Stars.
I mean, like it didn't have that satisfying explosion. It sort of imploded on itself.
Yeah, it just sort of gone and went. Although I gotta say, I love when you destroy these things like as you're flying into them, Jordan. Like that's, it's got like an Independence Day kind of flair to it.
Yeah, man, you're a true rebel. Don't even care, man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Also,
don't play by the rules.
Yeah. Also, in this level, like it seems like the TIE Fighter AI or whatever just seems like brutally aggressive because they will shoot you down like nothing in this level.
Yeah, I don't even see them, and they're just like firing at you. Like, man.
Like, I mean, they already shot me down like twice. Like it was nothing.
This place seems super. I mean, it's probably realistic if Bespin were a thing, but like this place seems like super expansive. Like you got a lot of ground to cover to get from one point to the other.
Yeah, and that's actually part of the problem because like you have to kill all those hot air balloons, but I'm just like, well, where's the last one? And you have to. And
that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, and you have to go through like that dense fog, and I'm just like, I don't even know where anything is anymore.
Can you travel cause I see Cloud City in the background. Are you actually going to be heading there at any point in this level, or is that just part of like the draw distance? Like
no, you'll get there. That happens in like the second half of this level, which I immediately die at. Spoiler alert. Mostly because like I died like twice, and then like. Yeah, but this level is like it's okay. It's overly hard because just the difficulty is like spikes, and then you can't really, because of just how this game works, you can't really do much about it. And then at the second half, you have to like do this thing, and you have to destroy these things in really tight quarters, which is like stupid hard when you're like in this small ship and you have to sort of do it before you end up crashing into it.
Yeah, we can't really like, oh wow, that thing just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like we can't really bust your chops for, you know, the depths in this game, because you're sort of at the mercy as to whether or not the game wants you to live or not.
Pretty
Sometimes
much.
I've noticed that they just send out like, you know, 6 TIE fighters at your ass, and there's not a lot you can do about that.
Pretty much, like, my only choice is, like, to wiggle around and speed up and hope to God that they lose interest.
Should we go after this guy? Yeah, I'm sort of bored of it. Let's go after another guy. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't even know, like, at this point I'm just like, where the fuck is, like, the last, thing? Oh, and I...
What?
Yeah, so apparently there was an arbitrary time limit there that I didn't know about that said, like, oh, you destroyed all the things, now we're just gonna, like, wait for a while.
That was such an awkward trigger, and you had like a trio of TIE fighters in your crosshairs, and the Rebel Alliance was like, no, you let them off the hook.
Yeah, so I have to go and destroy these power generators for some odd reason, and they're like deep in the city in like these small little corridors, and it's like trying to get to them is an ass and a half, because you end up just having to, you know, having to like go through those tight areas and you can't really maneuver. And yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, game over.
Oh, game over.
Good
motivational message.
And I want everybody to sort of know, whenever I fail in this game, there is no checkpoint. I have to go straight back to the beginning and do it all over again.
No, Jordan sacrifices for this channel,
Oh,
ladies
boy.
and gentlemen. Oh, what? Your ship didn't even take it out on the way out.
I know, like, this level is actually really bad in the sense, like, the TIE fighters will just eat you alive, and in previous levels, like, yeah, they could kill you and whatever, but they weren't, like, that efficient.
See, in Rogue Squadron 3, which is a significantly worse game, if you can imagine, this is the type of mission that they would put you on foot for. And those were pretty horrible. In fact, I looked up the review.
That TIE fighter really wanted me, apparently. But, yeah, right here, I didn't even know what I was getting into. It's just like, oh, a ship change sign. Maybe I can use it. I just started getting to this thing. I'm like, I regret everything I've ever done.
What is this ship's deal? Like, what can it do?
Nothing, really. It's easy. Okay, it's slower and a bit easier to maneuver, so, I mean, that does help try and get through those really small corridors. But, God, it's super weak, and it's just not really that great. I would have probably preferred the A-Wing and just tried to break it. Just use the brakes. But, like, here, it's actually a pretty bad ship.
And I take it this ship doesn't have any, like, bomb drops that you can sort of drop directly downwards.
Oh, it has no sub-weapons. And here I'm hoping to switch to my ship, and it's the same ship.
Oh no!
See what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
man.
it's so unclear what exactly it wants you to switch into, or what exactly that symbol even represents to switch into. And I'm just like, well, what do I do? And it's like, oh, this. Why would I ever switch into this?
You know what? I can't believe that. I think after watching this and you know going back to just sort of remembering my experiences with Rogue Squadron 3, I think Star Wars Battlefront has had some of the best flight mechanics in a Star Wars game, and that's so weird to think of.
You talking about the new one?
No, well, actually, the new one's really good, but even Battlefront 2 was solid as hell.
Have I don't remember.
Yeah,
there being
they had
flight
space missions, and that's what everyone misses about from the new Star Wars Battlefront. The fact that those missions are moot. Like there's space battles, just space combat battles, but there's nothing like, you know, infiltrate the enemy's ship and you know, infiltrate the enemy Star Destroyer and take it out from the inside, because those missions are always fun.
Well, the new Star Wars Battlefront, it has like no single player.
No, and that's another thing. They EA released a statement about that about a month ago. They said that it just wasn't one of their focuses. They wanted to focus on the multiplayer
That's all they were making,
campaign.
right? They were making a multiplayer game. That's fine.
You know, and of course there's the constant argument that even the multiplayer doesn't have enough content to it, and I gotta agree with that. Like, there's not. It gets tired. Like the things that are there get tired pretty quickly. It could have done with more stuff.
Yeah, I think
and,
I think
they're adding it
I think
slowly
you
now.
need a really good core game to have. Like, so I'm playing Overwatch right now, and like that game's pretty bare bones. It's kind of just there's a lot of stuff to unlock in terms of like visual stuff, but it's pretty much just hey, play this game, but it's just a really good game, so it's fine that it's bare bones.
It relies on the personality of its characters, really.
Yeah, totally. It's got all that stuff. It's got a lot going for it, but what it doesn't have is like a lot of stuff because it doesn't really need it. The sort of core game is enough by itself. I mean, fighting games have this too, right? Where a lot of fighting games are pretty bare bones. I like when fighting games have a little bit more in them sometimes, but a lot of the time, like Street Fighter 4 was super. It was just like, here's arcade mode, here's the training mode, here's online, and that was kind of it. And that's fine.
You mean Street Fighter 5, you mean?
I mean 4. Street Fighter 5 is a bit of a different story.
Street Fighter 5 has even less than that.
Yeah, Street Fighter 5 though, I actually played that for the first time last week, and like, man, the fighting in that game is wicked. It is so good.
But it has like
it's
nothing
too bad
else to
that
do.
that all the stuff around it is not quite up to snuff.
Yeah. So basically, right now in this mission, to get back a bit on topic, like. This has another problem, which is like you have this expansive city, you have all these corridors that you can barely navigate, and you have these things you have to get, and it's I just sort of I had to go and destroy the generators or whatnot. It was really hard because the expansion of the area just sort of makes it really difficult to sort of navigate and figure out where the hell you are. So I beat all of that, got back in my A-wing, and now I have to beat bombers away from the Vespian gas.
Okay,
so
that
you don't
sounds
have
okay.
to destroy these generators, the hot air balloons again, because I noticed you were taking a few of them out.
I'm taking a few of them out just because they pissed me off. But now you just have to kill the bombers.
And I assume you're on a time limit here as well.
Yeah, of course. You never know about it.
Sorry, specifically a timer you can't see.
Exactly. And my main problem with like this is like, I guess it's not really a problem with the game per se, but the fact of the matter is, these bombers are super slow, and you're in the A-Wing, which is super fast, and that sort of has a bit of a disconnect, because it's like, oh, I want to shoot these things, but they're moving way slower than I am, and I don't want to pass them.
And that's always a problem in these sorts of games, right? Like that. I mean, that's not a problem from the A-Wing. I feel like that's in the first mission in this game. Like, I feel like that's kind of all over the place. A lot of this game is... It's not like the AI is great or anything. A lot of the game is just, hey, get behind the thing, shoot the thing.
Well, except in this level where like the TIE fighters will just shoot you out of the sky out of nowhere.
Right, but it's not like complicated AI. It's just that they have their accuracy rating turned way up.
This game is giving me Superman 64 flashbacks.
Oh,
Thinking about that last time, because in the other level with the fog, that's kryptonite fog. Which was their excuse for a poor lack of draw distance.
Right.
Now, there are time limits that we can't see, which was another fault of Superman 64, and that's the end of the part.
I think this game might be better than Superman 64.
It is, but I mean, God, it's not as good as everybody remembers it, or as GamePro and everybody else wants to score it. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to leave this part in, Jordan, but I was looking up some of the reviews too earlier because I remember Dan brought that up the other week. And Jesus, like, this game was praised left, right, and center.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like, and people were complimenting things that that we're watching now, and like we chalk them up to really bad design. But man, it's amazing how how old is this game again? Like what, 10 years ago?
At least it's over
praised.
a decade old.
Over a decade old, yeah. So maybe that's it, with time and all that. But yeah, this was praised the hell out of.
Yeah, I don't know how, but it was.
Times change, man. Times change. Review processes change. It's good to not be too harsh on old stuff. They're going on different design norms, right?
Oh, I'll be harsh as hell on this game.